You know what's actually I'm gonna say
I
what's
don't know why I'm nervous with these so many people.
yeah, right.
Yeah. Guys, turn your faces that way.
So I was gonna say, the worst thing with starting a podcast is when you have a live audience. Because today we have a live audience, guys.
Yeah. All right, guys. Welcome to episode 7. We somehow made it to 7 already, Ali.
Yeah.
Of the 7-3 podcast. Oh. All right, guys. Welcome to episode 7 of the 7-3 podcast. I'm your host, Rehan. I'm here with, as always, Chota Bhai.
Not Chota Bhai,
Yeah,
but Ali.
Ali. So, Ali, today we have a bunch of different topics that
Oh
we
no!
have.
First, before we get into topics,
Yeah.
we actually have a live audience.
Yeah.
So round of applause for the live audience.
Yes. Yeah. So if you guys see some crazy edits and stuff, it's because the live audience is kind of messing
Yeah,
with
we gotta
us,
cut
you
out a
know?
lot of stuff because
Yeah.
these guys are unhinged.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous because my cousin's sitting over there with the SpongeBob
blanket.
Yeah, SpongeBob blanket.
Grown
on.
man, by the way.
Yeah.
And a SpongeBob blanket.
Yeah.
And we know he about to say some more out of pocket comment.
Yeah.
Great guy though.
Yeah. First thing, obviously everybody's wondering, we're wearing our shalwar kameez today.
Yeah.
Because today was Eid, so we want to start with giving a little bit of a recap of our day, what we did. So how was Eid for you?
By the way, Eid Mubarak to all the people watching.
Yeah.
Probably not gonna even be Eid,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm saying, Eid Mubarak.
Yeah,
You also
belated
wanna say
Eid Mubarak to all
there
our
you go.
brothers and
Yeah.
sisters out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Ali. So the first thing was I want to talk about a little bit about the masjid, how we started. Because last episode when we were talking about it, Ali had mentioned one of the things that he doesn't like about leading up to Eid was the fact that we're always late to the masjid, especially because of the girls. They take forever to get ready and everything. And somehow, after everything, Ali's the one that didn't make it to the Eid prayer. His sisters were there. I was there. I made it on time. But this guy chose not to wake up in time.
It was a long night.
Yeah, I was there with you.
I didn't go to sleep till 4:30, and I was on a back-to-back long night, no sleeps. So I could not wake up in the morning at 6.
It seems
and
like
it could not be done. But that's because my family was doing more than just going to the mosque and coming home. So I know that journey would not have been good for me because after seeing how my sister was when she showed up to the function we had to go to, she was dead.
Yeah.
And I was like, see, if I was there, I'd probably died in the car.
No, I
So it
agree.
worked out. Yeah.
And I think it kind of helps because I am exhausted.
Yeah.
So if you see Ali leading this podcast for the most part.
Yeah, Rahan
I'm on an hour. Yeah, I'm on my hour sleep. Couple of nicotine pouches already in.
He tried to walk up the stairs.
He
He started hallucinating. So we're gonna try to keep him locked in.
I've been given the cue to fix my hair.
Yeah, we got what do you call those people on set?
Yeah, our assistants.
Yeah, we got no, but what do
Assistants
you call
is
the
better.
ones that are for the fashion specifically? Stylists. We got stylists telling his own sister telling his brother to fix up.
In frame? No. All right.
No, all right.
It'd be your own people
your own
that'd be
people,
hating the
man.
most, bro. Yeah, before we even started the podcast, it took us half an hour because we were getting made fun of consistently. But it's okay, we're going to push through it. So let's talk a little bit about kind of like how our day went, Ali. Want to kind of take it over first?
Yeah, we could talk about the day. Well, I woke up dumb late. Everyone's calling me going, "Where are you?" And I didn't show up to the mosque to pray. So then I woke up, called him actually, so where he was at to see what time we had to go to the function.
Yo, I can't stop laughing looking at Samir, I'm not going to lie.
Got showered, changed, wore this, and then went to the function.
Yeah, so the function was a lot of fun.
The function was great, actually.
Yeah, the food, I'm going to try to add a couple of B-roll clips of all the food and stuff that we had.
Yeah.
Trust me, we indulged to it. After fasting for a whole month,
Yeah.
it was a little weird to be eating in the afternoon. You know what I mean? I wasn't
Honestly,
used to
it is a little bit different. That first day after you fast that much, it's a weird feeling. Like, I woke up and drank water. I was like, oh, this is great, bro. Like, I forgot how this felt.
Yeah.
So, we had kebabs, butter chicken,
A bunch of-
gosht, chawal, we had naans, we had everything.
Yeah.
So it was a great desi spread.
Yeah, Ali had 2 hot dogs. Just a completely.
I ain't gonna lie, I didn't even eat
Yeah.
it. I didn't even eat it.
Ali, you
I
had
didn't
2
even
at
eat
the
it.
same
But I
time.
saw Rahan. Rahan went to the
Guys,
corner. Now, Rahan took his
he's
plate.
lying,
So
he's
Rahan
lying.
was making fun of me, goes to the corner room with a whole fat glizzy.
Guys,
Fucking loaded it up, and he's over there munching, and I'm like,
I took
I'm
a-
like, yo,
I took a picture. I took a picture of it while Ali wasn't looking. He had 2 glizzies at the same time.
No,
Ali,
you
don't
know,
lie.
you know how I eat. You know how I eat hot dogs? Fork and knife. You're not catching me.
didn't.
You're not catching me, bro.
My dude, literally.
You're not catching me. I had half of a hot dog. No bun, because there's no buns.
Yeah, literally, he walked away. He literally walked away because he knew I was going to take a picture of him. He walked away so he can eat his.
And I
glizzy
sat
in
at a
peace.
busier table.
Yeah, oh yeah, sure. You were sitting by
I
yourself.
sat by the aunts.
Yeah, he didn't want to be called
But
out.
he was fucking raw dogging that shit. He was fucking going all in on that brioche. Fucking that hot dog was getting dogged.
Not the brioche. I'm gonna cut this shit out.
No, you're not.
You're gonna see a big edit from intro to this. That's all you're gonna see.
So the function was fire.
Yeah.
One of our cousins didn't show up on some fake shit. He's actually here in attendance today, but he did pull up to the late night show. This is the late night show.
Yeah. This is the more fun part of the night. You know what I mean?
So we got the wings. We got a big tray of wings. Our cousin
Yeah.
brought. We got the hookah going. It's a vibe.
Yeah.
You know, takes a while to set up, but here we
Yeah,
go.
I feel like we're kind of back in our zone again. I feel good. Like we're surrounded by our friends and family, almost all
I don't
family.
give a fuck about these people.
Really? Damn.
I rather care about you.
Yeah, no one did not subscribing to our own channel because of you. It's because of Ali. I'm not gonna lie.
Nah.
Yeah.
They watch the clips and they go, yo, that's tough, and then never subscribe.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? And then they go, oh,
Samir.
Samir. And he goes, oh, my phone doesn't have storage. Yeah, sure, buddy.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
we know how much. We know you're good in life.
Yeah.
So you don't have
Yeah,
storage.
you
for
can
your
pay
YouTube?
99 cents for some more iCloud storage.
This guy's
Samir.
talking some, oh yeah, I can't subscribe.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. I did want to touch on we were talking about the fact that the mosque and everything like that.
Yeah.
Luckily, no rich aunties came up to us
No
today.
rich aunties.
So that's a plus.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie though, I did see
No rich aunties.
I did see a girl that I did like today.
Yeah.
Yeah, too bad I didn't get a chance to get her number and stuff.
Yeah.
By the time I went to my cousin and told her about it, they were already gone.
Yeah.
So maybe she watches our podcast. So if you do,
Probably
you're
not.
wearing
Probably not.
a white dress, curly hair.
Oh, nah, he tripping.
Hit us up in my DMs.
Damn, this guy must have found love.
Bro,
Bro, it actually ties into our first topic.
Oh yeah, love on first sight.
Love on first sight.
Yeah. How you feel about that, Ali? Do you believe in love in first sight?
I think the idea of love at first sight is a good idea. Like, oh, you lock eyes with somebody and you feel some kind of whatever you feel. But I don't. I think it's more you're physically attracted to somebody based on how they look, and you kind of just base it off of that. I don't think there's a whole like story,
Yeah.
popping up just because you see somebody for the first time, right?
Yeah, I think on first sight it's more like attraction to the way the person looks and everything.
Yeah.
Because obviously I don't know anything about their personality and everything.
Yeah.
So I think that idea is blown way out of proportion. I'm not a believer in that. That also goes into the other topic I wanted to touch about, soulmates. I personally don't believe there's a such thing as soulmates.
And Samir's broken hearted.
Yeah, Samir's broken heart. Yeah. So soulmates, I honestly not a believer in that.
What do you think
at
about
all.
people saying you could have multiple soulmates based on the chapter of your life? Some people believe that at one chapter, that person may be your person for you, your soulmate.
Yeah.
And then as you have more chapters in life, there may be a different soul, maybe 2 or 3 in your whole life.
Yeah.
But
Well,
then
being Muslim and being the fact that I'm allowed to have 4 wives in that
That's a
situation,
possibility.
in that situation, that would
possibility.
mean I have 4 soulmates out there.
that's a great point.
Right?
Or maybe you have 3 and 1 ain't it. So you married a 4th or you married 2nd, right? So
You always got to give it a try. You know what I mean?
you-
Yeah, I might start with 4 and then end up at 3. That's okay.
how can you have a soulmate if you're arranged marriage, right?
Yeah, and also
How do you know that's your soulmate?
yeah, and also the fact that people talk about soulmates, it's just funny, and it happens to be that your soulmate lives in the same state as you.
In the same
It's such a
town,
big
in the
yeah,
same town,
exactly.
on the same
yeah.
street.
Yeah. Go ahead. You can
But
mention.
there's like what is it called? The
Red
invisible
string theory. Red string theory.
What is that? What
I-
the same thing? Invisible.
But I have that
Yeah.
written down actually.
Those
Yeah.
people, like
You gotta speak a
definitely
little louder,
people
remember.
That they've known their lives or they've come across like paths of they've come across at some point in their life and they didn't realize that that's who they were gonna marry.
So does that mean soulmates, or does that mean there's a certain code in our world where you just happen to be like have connected with somebody and God puts you in a situation where you may see each other? Is that a soulmate? So is soulmate then just a emotional term for something that would be a theory that happens to be true?
Oh, just me? Soulmate. I mean, I think it's Is that a soulmate? It could be. I don't know.
What do you guys see a soulmate as? Like, how
Yeah.
would you describe soulmate?
I think everyone sees soulmate as the same thing, where it's like that person is meant for you, was born for you, and is written for you.
Yeah, like
Don't you think maybe you just haven't found that person yet, and that's why you don't believe in it?
But then
I
what?
think
No,
you're
because
saying
the fact that
4 different soulmates is different.
Oh, that was a joke.
that was a joke. Yeah,
was a joke.
Yeah, I don't want 4 wives, guys.
No, that's different. We can want 4 wives. It doesn't mean all 4 are gonna be your soulmate or any
Exactly,
of them
yeah.
I
are.
think that there are people that come into your life for a reason, whether it's growth personally or just like to experience something to then
So you think soulmates per chapter?
no.
But
I
that's
don't
a
think
different
that's
point.
soulmate. I
But
just
that's a
think
different
there
point,
are
though.
important supporting characters that come into your life.
Okay, but
So
that
that's a
doesn't mean they're
different.
soulmates.
Yeah, that's a.
not a soulmate.
Yeah, that's a different point, and I
Yeah.
agree with that because there've been people in my life that weren't compatible and
Yeah.
stuff, but they pushed me in a different phase of my life.
But that's not
Yeah,
soulmate.
exactly,
That's
yeah.
more like as a character in your life that's meant to give you a lesson.
Yeah, I don't believe in
different.
soulmates because I've been in relationships.
partner.
I've been in
You know, you
relationships
can be
before.
that, but then they're like a lesson for you.
No, I agree. That,
Yeah.
but
It's a
then again,
shitty soulmate,
it's still
eh?
not a soulmate because if it's the theory of being a soulmate, that means that God or whoever you believe in had created that specific person for you. You know what I mean? And the fact that we live in a world with what 8 billion people, and the fact that to hard find that soulmate is almost impossible. Because like in order to do that, you would have to like search for that person everywhere.
I
Yeah, yeah.
I
I'm
think
a
the
big
idea. I think the idea overall is comforting.
yeah. I think
I
it's
think
comforting.
it's a
Yeah,
nice idea to believe that your
and it
person's
gives
out
people
there for you.
purpose.
But then think about the people who end up, having multiple marriages or getting divorced because they think that person is for them at that time, the
Yeah.
right person, and they may believe that's their soulmate,
Yeah.
but they may grow apart from each other,
Yeah.
or maybe one person isn't picking up the slack or on
Yeah.
their goals or doing what they should be doing, and then they end up divorcing.
Yeah.
So how can there be a soulmate if your soulmate and you should be perfectly aligned, right?
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think if you go, there's nothing wrong with believing in that, and if you're going into a relationship with that, thinking that that's your soulmate, that's completely okay.
I think it's an
but
optimistic,
what really,
nice way to think. But
Yeah,
I
but-
don't know how feasible it actually could be.
I don't think it's feasible at all. I think what really makes a relationship work is the time and commitment that you put into the relationship.
Okay, let me pull up.
I
some
think that's a lot more realistic than the fact of being a soulmate.
But can't soulmate just be a feeling and then you actively, both parties, put in work to make it a long-lasting
Okay, but that's
relationship?
compatibility.
That's compatibility. Yeah,
Does
exactly.
compatibility
yeah.
make you a soulmate?
Yeah, soulmate means like specifically there's one person out there for you, and I don't think that's
And
true.
I think soulmate means more than just compatibility. I think soulmate means there's this like almost I don't know how you word it. It's just like there's such a strong connection that it feels like there's something more than just you two as humans. It's more like
Exactly.
soul.
Energy.
So
Like, what about, like, there's so many people that you come across, right? But there's an energy that comes from specific people that makes you attracted to them.
100%. So I can speak on that, right? I've been in multiple relationships over the years, and both relationships, I felt that love and connection with them, but it didn't work out for one reason or another. So if I thought it was that feeling was
At first,
connected to being a soulmate, then I would have been with that first person.
that's why I mentioned about divorce. Where
Exactly.
people who may get married or date and they're high school
Yeah.
sweethearts and everything seems great, but then at one point there becomes a disconnect.
Exactly.
And then you could say, okay, maybe that is my soulmate, but I grew apart from them. So is that a soulmate, or is that somebody you met when you were young, or you've been with so long that you don't see the longevity of?
Yeah, and if you believe in the soulmate concept, the only way that really works is if you're traveling around the world and giving different people a chance.
Yeah, because then what you're doing is you're opening yourself up to all the possibilities
Yeah.
and being mature enough to go, okay, maybe one person can stand out more than the other.
Yeah.
And then you go, oh my God, this person stands out so much more
Yeah.
that they feel almost like they were built or made for me,
Yeah.
and I made for them.
I agree with
Which is
that.
more. But you could also, maybe you're someone's soulmate, but they're not yours.
Yeah.
So
that's-
how do you know? Because then it becomes so sticky of a topic.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it doesn't mean you're made in pairs. Maybe I feel like my partner is my soulmate, but maybe to them, or maybe God wrote that I'm not their soulmate.
Yeah. Or maybe God wrote that there's like a handful of people out there for you, and you can kind of pick and
Yeah.
choose what works best for you.
Don't know.
And that's okay.
But no one knows any of like,
Yeah.
we don't know the actual fact.
Yeah.
There's no,
You guys are saying, like, oh, there's so many people out there in the world, right?
Mhm.
But, like, how do you decide who's a best friend versus just a friend?
but that's what I'm saying.
That's what we're saying. So that's why I don't believe in the concept of a soulmate, because if that was the case, and if it's meant to be, then you would find that one person.
Distinguishes them, right?
But every person will
But
be
if-
distinguishable in their own way.
Yeah.
So you meet 10 people, maybe 2 aren't compatible to you, but the other 8 you feel a connection with in a different way.
Yeah.
Maybe one's hobbies,
Me
maybe one's
here,
thinking.
How can it just be they can be your soulmate or you can be their soulmate, but not be a mutual mate?
But that's us trying to dissect the idea of there being a soulmate.
Yeah. And I
Because
think
maybe-
the idea of having a soulmate, you're limiting yourself
Yeah,
too.
because remember, no
'Cause
one said soulmate's a fact.
Yeah.
So that means it could also be a fact that you could be someone's and someone could not be yours.
Yeah.
So then we're just basing off of our own thoughts.
Yeah.
So if I bring up statistics, around 52 to 74% of people believe in love at first sight,
Okay.
which I think compatibility at first sight or more attraction at first sight makes more sense.
Yeah, because how can it be love on first sight when you just met them?
Yeah.
You just met them, and for the most part, you're just looking at their physical, the way
Yeah.
the way they physically look.
So then
you don't know nothing
we
about their
have
personality and stuff.
34
What if they look beautiful and you think it's love at first sight, but once you start talking to them, the person's a horrible human being and they don't connect with the same
Yeah.
energy and they don't put out the same vibes as you.
So the next one is 34 to 57% of people say they've experienced love at first sight. And then 64% of Americans believe in soulmates.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this definitely more of an American concept than from a Desi point of view. Because a lot of us are arranged marriages and stuff. We have parents that have great relationships. I don't think they were necessarily soulmates.
Yeah.
But
So
they put the time and commitment into it and made it work.
so
Because I think a lot of times women are the one that cling to the idea a little bit more than guys do.
yeah.
And I think that kind of could hurt them in the long run because they might be somebody that is good, but maybe there's like a couple things they don't like about each other, and they're like automatically kind of write them off because of the fact they're like, oh, they're not my soulmate. Instead, if you actually take the time and work on it together, there's a better chance that you guys would be compatible, but you're not even giving them the benefit of the doubt because you're still stuck to one theory.
And I'm also trying to think of a couple.
And there's no such thing as a perfect couple.
That's what I'm
out there.
saying.
If it was a soulmate, that means like you would be compatible on every single level.
Or maybe
and
not.
I don't think that's
or
realistic.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe not. I don't know, but
Yes.
Also be platonic as well.
your friend soulmate, like they were made for you to be your friend.
I do agree.
But that's what I was
Yeah.
saying. That's why I mentioned that maybe it could branch off to everything
Like
then.
maybe your
Yeah.
soulmate isn't necessarily romantically, but platonically.
But-
Like you two.
I think
Yeah, I mean, I do.
Never said like, oh, we were meant to be friends.
No, I do believe in that because there's friends that came in my life. I'm like, oh my god, I needed that person, and they helped me get to the next level. But I think that's still different than the idea of having a soulmate.
you have to take the definition of soulmate,
Yeah.
and then you have to dissect that because
Did we already say that?
let's look at the definition.
Yeah.
of soulmate.
I don't know. I believe in energy, and maybe because I'm a woman, I'm like, oh, I would like to think that there are like people meant for you out there in the world.
No, I'll
No,
say
it's
this.
definitely.
No,
It's,
that
one
that-
second.
go
It's
ahead.
definitely because you're a woman. You believe that.
No, so I'll say everything's energy,
Yeah.
and I do know
I do believe in energy. yeah.
biologically, right? Women pick up on the hormones of the person who they are around or with,
Yeah.
right? So the way it works is when a woman's in a certain phase, I'm pretty sure, of their cycle, they end up feeling their hormones attract them to a man that they'll be compatible with, or
Yeah.
it's something about
Yeah.
not.
And also, if you
would
don't-
be the best father to the children.
Yeah, but also as you're growing up, when I was 21, I had a different definition of what I was looking for a person. So that was a different, like that would be a completely different person than what I'm looking for now.
Yeah.
So if I'm going off the base of the idea of a soulmate, then that doesn't actually add up then.
Well, look at this. Soulmate seems to be relatively new search concept as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah.
this is not actually something that.
Yeah, I think that's an idea that was recently built, especially based off like the rom-com movies. You know what I mean? I think they definitely pushed this narrative a little bit further. And I personally don't believe it, but people that are viewers that are watching,
Yeah.
if you guys believe in the concept of soulmates or love at first sight, definitely put it in the comments because, you know, we're definitely going to come back and touch on it and kind of see where our viewers
So
are
here's the
coming from.
definition.
First sight is different than soulmate.
Yeah, it is. It's completely
Yeah,
different.
but we're talking about both topics. So I want to kind of get the feedback because I know we're getting your guys' feedback, but I want to see the male and female audience that we have to kind of see what
So
perspective
the
they're coming
definition we
from.
have here is a person ideally suited to another as a close friend or romantic partner.
Yeah.
Okay, so last question, wrap it up.
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah, go ahead.
Do you think the concept of soulmate is more harmful or helpful to society?
If the girl is like really stuck on the fact that there's somebody like that's a soulmate out there, I think that's harmful because you're limiting yourself. Because like I said earlier, if there is a guy that might have some flaws, but if you put the time and commitment into it, you can make it into a beautiful relationship. But if you're so stuck with the fact that having that one perfect person for you, then you might not even give him the benefit of the doubt. You might write him
I'll
off.
change the way he said it. If you think your soulmate is going to be perfect, then it is harmful.
Yeah.
Because no soulmate would be perfect. And I think if you change the perfect of it and go, okay, my soulmate means something else to me,
Yeah.
then that would change the way you view it. Rather than my soulmate
That's
would
true.
meet my every need and standard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you guys think that women seek more of this perfect person as their partner as opposed to men?
So I was gonna say that it was gonna be both ways because I think
I
that
would say men.
I think that men and women both desire or see soulmate. But I think overall, I think a woman may strongly feel more about having a soulmate than a man
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
general.
Yeah. For me, the
Perfect person.
yeah. For me, the
Perfect
pers-
person.
Women kind of like hone in on this, like I need them to be this ideal individual for me.
But that could be both ways though. It doesn't mean it's just a woman.
Men seek more of a perfect and ideal woman than like a man does.
yeah, I guess everybody has a different point of view because
women are more malleable.
yeah, because I'm not. Yeah, women are definitely more understanding and more flexible. You know what I mean? They're willing to kind of give
I
more
don't know,
than the
that's
guys
a person
do.
to person thing.
That's what I'm saying. It's a
I don't even know
person-to-person
if I can
thing.
answer that.
Because for somebody that has gone to multiple relationships, at some point, I thought they were the perfect person for me. But, then it didn't work
if
out.
I had to put myself
Yeah.
in the shoes of a person that did go through a relationship, because I never have, I think I would personally believe that. Why are you guys laughing?
You see,
They
he
got-
said
these
this in
guys-
every single podcast,
These
guys.
guys try to. They
You
think
guys
it's
know
funny,
me.
but I'm trying to make sure
Yeah.
when I give you guys like an idea or a thought that's coming from a place of like me trying to think about that, because I've never done it, right?
Yeah.
So I would think that. Yeah,
I
big
love the fact
24.
that he has such beautiful insights into these topics, and he just coming from the fact that he's putting himself in their shoes.
A lot of learning.
Yeah, so insightful. Your pineal gland is really open
It's
right
really
now.
open.
Yeah, it's really
a lot of
open right
spiritual work. This Ramzan, actually, I did a lot of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Opened
He
up
really
my
locked
mind.
into the
A
higher
lot of
level.
frequencies,
Yeah.
I think that I don't even know what the hell was the damn time. What did you say? What was the last thing? What was the last thing? What were you hinting at?
She was talking about the fact that women are more malleable compared to guys. I feel like
So
guys
if I-
hold on to
okay,
the
yeah.
concept more.
I think I personally know a lot of guys that are very like conforming to women, and
Yeah.
I do know a lot of women that are conforming to men. So I can't give you, and I don't have a statistic to just fully be able to say like, oh, the man's more conforming or the woman's more conforming. So I don't think that's the right way to look at it.
Okay.
So to say, because that's a person to person answer to say like, oh, a woman's more understanding of a man's imperfections.
Yeah, I think that depends on the personality
Because
more than anything else.
I mean,
yeah.
if we're looking at on average, men are willing to date down way more compared to women. So then,
No, that's
Yes, it
100%
is.
true. Because a man does not
Yes,
look at
it
a lot of
is.
the social statuses that women do.
no guy is going, oh, I need to find a woman who's making this much a year and has this career.
Well, I guess you can also say men are looking for different things.
And just like the, I don't know. I feel like it's definitely like very harsh and like written in stone and like, no, I will not go below this. I feel like
That depends on the
women
guy.
are more likely to date uglier men than men are willing to date.
But you're just
ugly women.
but you're just looking at a
Ugly is
physical
first.
aspect.
Ugly is a mean word.
Yeah, ugly is
I
a
don't wanna
mean
say
word because
ugly.
I don't think
I don't
any.
think anyone.
Yeah, we respect our women viewers, and I don't think there's any such
think
thing
they're
as
all
an ugly
beautiful.
girl out there. Okay. Yeah. I'm just being respectful.
Yeah.
That's how my mom raised me. I don't know how they're coming from this point of views. I would never call I would never call a girl ugly. Ever.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I just think the word's ugly.
Yeah.
I think the word ugly is ugly and it
Yeah.
should never be used.
Yeah, it should never be used. So I'm surprised my sister's using these type of words. I'm surprised.
I'm
yeah.
actually kind of sad.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah, but that's what we're here for. We're not just giving insight to you guys.
So
we're also using this podcast to help our sisters
I think we
and
need to
help them better themselves too.
And maybe help herself. Right?
Yeah.
So
Because this is really, I don't want to really branch into this topic, but girls really be hating on girls a lot more, huh?
yeah.
You call girls ugly. That's crazy.
No, I meant like they'll date down.
I know. I'm
No.
joking. I'm joking.
No.
Yeah.
Men date down more than women.
Yeah. Statistically.
You will find an
Statistically.
old
Yes.
man with the most beautiful women, like a very average looking man.
Why'd they
One
choose?
woman down.
Why'd they choose the old man?
Oh, I'm not saying that they're not going for the
Because they have their own
standard.
reasons.
Yeah.
So are we talking about just looks or are we talking about overall?
Yeah.
Because then they're only with that guy just for the benefit.
Exactly.
Where he may be with that girl because
For
he
more
may
than
think
the
there's
looks.
more than just looks.
Yeah. Because I think guys are definitely looking for, because I know looks are going to fade. Like, that changes. People change, especially after kids and stuff like that. Looks fade. So,
Man and
I think,
woman.
yeah. Well, I think men usually, as we get older, we get better. Come on, look at us. 30, killing it.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Men look.
Yeah. Anything else we want to touch on this topic?
I think we hit every single angle on that topic
Yeah.
and came to no conclusion.
And
But I
that's
think
okay.
that works. You
but,
guys,
but that's the whole point of the
that is the whole
podcast because
point.
there's no such thing as a right answer. That's why I really want to get their
I think
feedback.
everyone's right answer comes from their own perspective and
Exactly.
their own initiatives from life. But I think it's important to make sure you look at the statistics of things to at least go, okay, I know what I may think, and I can see the surveys of what other people are thinking and take into account, okay, if we take this to a larger populace of people, what is the overall consensus?
Yeah.
And then also look at studies and stuff that are done to say like, okay, maybe there is something here that I'm not seeing, or maybe my own personal judgment is overlooking the actual fact.
Yeah.
So I think take in all opinions, but actually do the research to hone in on what your opinion is, because otherwise you're speaking from your own, maybe your own thoughts, your own pain, your own trauma,
Your own biases.
your own bias, without ever having any concrete proof.
Yeah.
And then you never really get to have any deep conversations because your conversations just come from your own experience
Yeah.
rather than mixing your own experience with the facts.
And that's the point I was trying to make in the fact, like if you go into it with that mindset, you're limiting yourself.
You're limiting yourself and you're limiting the conversation.
Yeah.
Because then you can't really get anywhere if there's no openness to conversation.
Yeah.
Which allows us to have a podcast and get different opinions.
Yeah.
Because then we're able to then all talk about it, see different perspectives, dissect it, and then go, okay, we can't come to an answer because some things don't have answers, right? But then at least we get to see what's the overall consensus in the room, and then what the overall consensus of the viewers may be.
Yeah. I think what I want to do is, I think YouTube gives you option to put polls. So I think let's put a poll in the
community
comments.
poll?
Yeah, community poll, and you guys vote on it to see, you know, and then we'll come back and
talk about it.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll come back more versed with more research and stuff.
Yeah.
And give maybe a more diagnosed answer.
Yeah, I definitely liked having this conversation because usually it's just me and Ali talking.
Yeah.
We have our sisters here, and to get a female point of view, you know, I think we got to kind of see both sides.
Yeah.
And, you know, and we'll see what the viewers really vote on.
Yeah.
Right? So the next topic I wanted to, I kind of touched base on the fact that, you know, the fact of a soulmate means that you're limiting yourself because there are 8 billion people in the world, right? So that kind of goes into the topic of like, do you think now with social media, you know, Instagram, everything, are there too many options for partners out there? Because there's always going to be somebody better.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. What do you guys think about that?
Wait, what?
The question was, do you think because of social media, the fact that you have such a bigger audience now, you know, you can reach out to people in other countries and stuff, is it too many options now, especially for women? Because, you know, let's say they get bored of a guy, and guys, you know, let's say they easily get bored of somebody because there's always somebody hotter or somebody that they found on Instagram. I mean, it's okay if you, Samir, you have anything insight?
You guys think, but
think-
I okay, go ahead.
I think you underestimate like social media and creating a relationship out of that. I don't think it's that easy. Like yes, like it gives you a bigger pool of options, but how many of those are actually like doable to make into a relationship? Yeah, it gives
But
you
we're not talking about relationships.
But like,
We're talking about
open dating
but isn't
pool or
that-
whatever. Still, I think that goes into it. Like yeah, you have more options out there, but how many of them are actually like viable to do?
you don't think there's a consensus among like a certain population, maybe a certain age range,
Yeah.
where they know, hey, me and my partner are fighting, and I know there's a plethora of people in my DMs or that maybe.
It's more of a
But then they
morals-based
shouldn't be in
question.
a relationship.
No,
because I
but-
feel like
but that's what I'm
then
saying.
we're
Like,
social media has caused that
cause that, yeah, because
now
'cause
before
previous-
there wouldn't be that. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
'cause if you look at the
And I
stats-
think this
go
is
ahead.
from another podcast, but okay, yes, it's the amount of people that are accessible to you, but it's also the sort of content that we're consuming. Having short form content be like such a big part of our life makes it so that our level of interest dissipates like quickly.
So that's what,
So,
yeah, that's the point I was
yes,
trying to
there's a lot
make.
of options,
Yeah.
but it's also just our like retention capability that's also like shrunk so much that it's
Yeah.
like, oh well, we got into a fight today. Let me just go see if there's someone else who won't fight with me today.
So that's what I'm saying. It is harmful. In the long run, it is harmful because statistically, women are getting married way less or way later on in life. Previously, when you didn't have the option, majority of times people would end up finding their partner like in local bars or in their local high school and stuff like that. But now that's not the case anymore because people are always looking for the best of the best. Like you kind of talked about the fact that, you know, like I think it was another podcast I listened to, like 21-year-old guys are competing with like 40-year-old guys out there because women now, like right off college and stuff, they're like, oh, why would it be? They're not even giving chances to the guys around them because they know there's way better options out there with people that are way more stable in life.
I actually agree with that point. I think social media made it a thing in real life where people don't have real human connections anymore.
Yeah.
So with that, you kind of base their personality off
Imagination and
not just
profiles.
profiles, right? So you create your own idea of them
Yeah.
through what they post, and I think that's more harmful because then you create an idea of them,
There's
you
a lot
get
of
to know them
assumption.
that doesn't meet to what your expectations are, and then you move on. So I think people always think too highly of not only themselves but others, and then when they get disappointed, they go searching again.
And I
because
think
people give
that-
up on real human connection.
I hope y'all heard that because that was a good point. And I think that ties back into love at first sight. The idea that you're imagining something with somebody because of maybe a personal attraction. And I think social media is the same way. So rather saying love at first sight in person, it's more like, oh, compatibility at sight on social media or the possibility of it. And some statistics here. Heavy dating app users are 30% more likely to feel dating burnout, and 80% of Gen Z and millennials report dating app burnout. Endless options create decision fatigue, commitment issues, and there's always better mindset. So this tends to be like the paradox of having so much choice
Yeah.
that, hey, my Hinge profile has 50 likes.
Yeah.
Let me go and try 10 of them because 10 of them are good looking
Yeah.
or compatible with after talking. You date all 10 or to go on a date with all 10, you're like, let me try another.
Yeah.
So then it becomes things like you can't settle on an option because you're never satisfied because you think
Exactly.
there's more.
Yeah. Because that goes back to the point I said. Like everybody's like any little minor inconvenience.
Yeah.
It's easier nowadays for both men and women. They're like, oh, it's easier for me to find a better guy or a girl because it's, with Instagram and stuff or dating sites, you can just go look up. And especially with girls, every girl on a dating website has like 50 or 60 likes daily.
Yeah,
You know
they're
what I mean? Rather than actually taking the time to better their relationship, it's the easy way out to just go look for another one.
yeah, and I mean, women tend to have more success on dating apps, on social media, in terms of being able to have options. And having options, depending on the person's moral compass, may be able to finish my sentence. May be able to.
I'll be honest with you, I kind of doze off a little bit. Not.
They may succumb to that. They may succumb to the options they have
Yeah.
because maybe it's been a couple weeks of fighting and not seeing eye to eye with the person you're dating, and now you're thinking, hey, I got so many people in my DMs. I could open up an app. I'm good looking enough, and you can just go try something else. And I think that's kind of changed because back in the day, you wouldn't have that ability to do that.
Yeah.
And I know, especially in Desi culture, there's not really a divorce concept or conversation,
Yeah.
and there's no idea of not being compatible with a partner. You're more forced to stay in that circle. So
The
I think,
expectations are way higher now than they ever were before.
yeah.
I think men do it more.
No,
No. That end point was both
the
sides.
end point was both sides.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
I think it's 50-50, but also from like personal experience, but not me. I think a lot of people who go on Hinge and Tinder, all that, they're not looking for relationships. They never are. I think they're looking for something else.
Well, Tinder is different. So that does go into a topic we wanted to talk about.
I also
People find their partners on Hinge.
okay. Wait,
Yeah,
I have
so-
a statistic.
From like a college aspect.
Oh, age group definitely
age group
plays a
matters,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying, like,
Dating apps are now responsible for over half of modern relationships. Doesn't mean successful or not. 39% of singles use dating apps. So more options equals more access to people.
Yeah.
Does it lead to successful relationships? That's not said. But
Yeah. I think stats show that it doesn't. Because again, going back to the fact that a lot more women and men are
Yeah.
getting married way later on in life. The fact that people are single is a lot more
Yeah.
compared to before. And I think that's where social media, as good as social media is, because it helps get our voice out there, I think it's
Yeah.
also harming us. And a lot of people are missing that point. So that's kind of like why we kind of mention even this topic to kind of see, because there are people out there that might be always looking for somebody better rather than taking the time to invest in the relationship.
I would speak specifically to guys here, and I'd say I think I can sympathize with a lot of guys who are on the other end of it, where they know, like, depending on the partner you have, you know you're up against so much.
Yeah.
Because you know that the girl will be able to exercise the options if you do have a pretty girlfriend.
But also, I think, no, I think for that, I think it is 50-50 because from a guy's perspective, I think also for me, I'm sometimes like, I can go into that mindset like, oh, if it's not working out, oh, there's a bunch of girls out there too. As long as you're a good looking guy, you're confident in yourself, you
I'm not
have that
disagreeing
social,
with that.
if you have that, especially nowadays, if you have that financial status, the pool opens up for guys as much as it does for girls too. As much as the beautiful girls can get a bunch of likes, a rich and successful man can also get a bunch
But
of likes.
look what you said, rich and successful, right? The standard for
Or
being
good
able,
looking, or good looking.
for a normal girl who's just pretty will be able to achieve way more likes than a normal dude, right? So if you say rich and successful, now we're upping the playing field for the guy to match the girl. You know what I'm saying?
But women are naturally known to be like the pretty ones, while men are supposed to be what puts men on a higher status is usually like their financial status, not always the looks.
Yeah, the attention. How does attention come for a man? Attention comes from a man from certain things.
Yeah.
Whereas something for
That's what I'm
a
saying.
woman could just
That's
be
what I'm
just
saying.
looks.
I think it's 50-50 because you can't just be
It's not 50-50 because one's harder and one's natural.
No, but it's not
You know what I'm
really
saying?
no.
One
but,
who got to work hard for, and one could be more.
but
just
there's
like,
good looking, but there's good looking guys out there that are not rich and successful that can pull just as many or if not more girls than like a good looking girl.
You don't think?
I'm
that-
not saying it's
but no,
easier. I'm
you
saying
don't
it
think
is
on
easier for
average,
girls.
On average, you don't think it's easier for a girl to have not only be able to pull any man they would want,
Yeah.
right? But not pull any man they want, but have more options to be able to choose from.
100%, girls have them more options. Obviously, when you look at dating
That comes
apps,
from Hinge
girls
apps.
girls
They're
are getting way more
10x
likes.
more.
Yeah,
like genuinely
100%.
10x more.
100%.
in terms of
I
likes.
really don't think that women go, if they're in a relationship, whatever kind of relationship it is, I really don't think they go out back onto these apps to be like, oh, he really annoyed me today. Let me just go find another. Unless they're like completely done with them at all.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
But that's
No,
what I'm saying.
we're not saying they're on apps while dating.
Yeah, the fact that you said they're done with them, I think the fact they get to that a lot quicker now than they
Yeah.
did before.
That's
that they're
the
just
point.
done with it.
Because we have-
Because before,
They try the most to make something work before they move on to.
Is that your
something else.
perspective? Is that how you feel? Like, do you think you would do that? But is that
I
speaking
think
for all
in
women?
general, I don't really. I mean, maybe it's personal,
And I
maybe
also
it's
think-
assumption to think that I know that there is a group, a certain type of girl that maybe, depending on wherever she is in life, I guess, might be just like looking for the most, who is going
Yeah.
to give me what I want.
Yeah.
Whatever
And I
it
also
is that I
think
want, right?
American culture
But-
and DC culture does differ in that.
It does.
Yeah,
That's what I was
yeah.
saying before.
American culture, I think, is a lot more about finding that it's easy to kind of move on from one person to another.
Exactly.
Compared to like from their point of view, being Daisy or sisters, I think they're coming from the fact that no, they will give it more of a shot
Yeah.
than I guess let's say more of an American girl. Not all.
And
not
that's
saying
what
all.
our podcast is about. It's about
Yeah.
dissecting how we view things as Desis and grow
Yeah.
up in Desi culture and being in America.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think Daisy girls are definitely putting in more of a commitment than.
Will put in more effort to make X work until it doesn't. I feel like they really
like
need to
even,
be
like,
like physically and emotionally like detached before they move on to anything
For
else.
example,
Not
There's
always
nothing
because
in the life
we've
where
had
they're just
friends.
trying to, like, F
But-
around and find
I mean,
But
we
we've
could
had
find
fr-
statistics.
But we've had friends that are girls that they've told us like stories and stuff. They're like, oh yeah, I didn't like the way he did this, so I'm going to keep my options open.
And-
I think
yeah.
women are definitely going into the mind. Not women and men are going into relationships a lot more with the idea of be like, oh, if this doesn't work out, I always have more options. Not just girls, women and men. But what he's saying is easier for girls.
Are you guys saying just any sort of connection or like actual relationship, like trying to go like long term?
No, I think relationship starts as soon as you start dating. Even a couple of dates, that's the beginning of a relationship. I think a lot more women and men are writing it off a lot quicker. If the first one or two dates don't go right, you've seen it, right? If the first one or two dates don't go right, they're not even calling the guys back. Rather than be like, oh, maybe I was like, personally, I'm nervous on first dates. Maybe it doesn't go the best. I'm somebody that I got to spend like a month or two for me to really open up to them. So let's say a girl that doesn't have the same mindset. For her, she doesn't want to invest that time. And I get where they're going from, especially if the girl's older. She doesn't have that. She doesn't have the time,
Yeah.
right? So for her, it's a lot easier to kind of move forward and look for the next one, rather than the guy who's not really worried about the age. Age is really not a factor when it comes to relationships for guys as much as it is for girls, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
My bad. I'm finding statistics.
No, you're good. You're good. You can keep looking for statistics. So, going to the little bit of the Desi side of this, obviously we've seen there's a lot more Indian or Pakistani dating websites and stuff. How do you guys feel about that compared to like the traditional arranged marriages or like rich aunties like we were talking about?
I think it's
What do you think overall works out better?
what works out better.
Yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't say, but I think in general, I think having both options equally in front of you is not bad.
Okay.
Depends on what the person wants. If they want to go the arranged marriage route, they still have that choice. And if they want to try and find someone on their own privately, they also have that choice as well. I think there's no harm to it. There's no ill intent.
Okay.
And also, if you live in an area with not that many Muslims around you, an arranged marriage isn't as doable. I think the apps help you put another perspective on what else is out there.
So basically, the question was like, in the sense like, there always used to be a taboo around dating apps and stuff like that. Like you said, a lot of people go on dating websites not to look for relationships, rather for like short-term hookup kind of situation. But do you think now with the space that we live in now, statistically, more people are finding people on dating websites and stuff? So do you think that mindset of like taboo is changing a little bit?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Even, like,
What do you guys
Desi
think
culture.
about? Oh, go ahead. Are we just talking about Desi culture?
Anything, yeah. You go ahead to it.
No, what do you guys think about men that are 30 plus that on their social, like their dating profiles, have in their status
I feel
looking
personal.
for short term relationships or like not looking for anything serious? Like you can kind of like put what kind of relationship
Yeah.
you're looking for, and it's like, casual.
I think there's nothing wrong with that, because if he's not ready to settle down, then that's okay. Like, I think when I made a dating website, I put short term after I got out of a long term relationship. Can that change down the line? Yeah,
I
but
think
like,
it does depend.
because I'm
I
30
think
plus.
it depends on the context.
Yeah.
Because maybe you just got a relationship, or the
Yeah.
person got a relationship, and now when they say short, like something casual, that can be like being friends or talking and seeing
Yeah.
what's up before you actually gonna commit to somebody because you just committed to somebody.
Yeah. I think if they're not serious about, I would rather, I feel like even from a girl's point of view, wouldn't you rather have somebody be open and honest about that right off the bat? So if you do end up matching, when you see that, you can automatically be like, oh, that's not the person for me, because you're not looking for that.
There's like different types of dating apps, right? Like Tinder and stuff.
So
Like, they
Tinder's
kinda have like
Tinder's
a-
hookup. To be honest with you,
Right.
Tinder's hookup.
So like, why are people, or why are, I guess it could be women too, I don't know, right? But why are people who are not ready for a long-term relationship present on dating apps that are meant for long-term relationships?
Not everything is
so it's
gonna
not
be
only
the
long
way
term.
the app is supposed to be.
Yeah, so
I
it's
mean.
not, no, but even on Tinder and on like Hinge and stuff, it's not just, they have different options.
They're not even just
yeah.
dating
So
apps anymore.
so yeah, it's not dating apps. So on Tinder and
everything.
Hinge and Bumble, you can put if you're looking for a short-term relationship, long-term relationships, just friendships. So I think dating apps have evolved to
They've
more than
evolved.
that.
If the app allows you to do it, that means the app is saying
Yeah,
like, we want all
yeah,
the options to be
because
there.
I have been on dating websites, and I can tell you personally, I have matched with girls that are also looking for short-term relationships, and that's completely okay because they're not ready to settle down right now. Especially like women that are working on themselves, they're businesswomen and stuff. They might not feel ready, but they still want a personal connection with somebody without having to fully commit. So in that case, that's okay. That's why I like the fact that it gives you that option, because if you're both honest from the beginning on the same page, then you could still casually meet up and hook up if you want to without having any feelings. And there's nothing wrong with that if you're both on the same page. I think it'd be worse if I don't agree with the guys that are on dating websites, say they're looking for long-term relationships just to kind of get certain girls interested, just to hook up with them and then never call them again.
Okay, here we go.
All right, Ali got the stats.
Women match with 30 to 36% of people they swipe right on. Men match with only 2 to 3%.
Yeah.
Women are 10 to 15x more likely to get a match than a man.
That's true.
How many swipes does it take? Women, one match every 3 to 10 swipes. Men, one match every 40 to 150 swipes. That means women choose, men chase.
men have to swipe more because they're matching less.
Women swipe right on only 4 to 8% of men, approximately. Men swipe right on 40 to 60% of women.
Yeah.
So women are filtering heavily and men are casting a wider net.
Yeah. And also because the dating apps, the way they're set up is majority of them, the girl has to match and the girl has to reach out first.
So women receive 2x more messages than men. Women receive up to 10x more likes than men. 62 to 75% of dating app users are men. That alone explains that there's more men in the market and women have the leverage because they have so many more options.
I agree. Yeah.
So the top 10% of men receive 58% of all likes from women.
Yeah.
58%.
Yeah.
Top 10%.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like in the fact that like, they know what they're looking for. And
Which is what I was saying before
Yeah.
about when you're saying rich and successful. It's like
Yeah.
you have to be a top percent man to be able to have the same pool
Of, yeah.
as just
So yeah, well, that's because men and women are looking for different things, right? Like women are looking for more successful guys, while guys are okay with as long as the girl's beautiful. He's not really looking at her social standing.
But I don't think a 4 out of 10 guy is gonna swipe on just 8 out of 10 and plus girls. Like on average, men I think are
Men are just swiping, to be honest.
yeah.
They're just swiping.
That's the fact. Like,
They're just swiping.
They're swiping more.
Yeah, they're again from personal body. We're swiping a lot more because of the fact that because I know it's harder to get matched.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
don't you think some men are just swiping higher than what their like skill base should be? Like some like 4 to 10 men are shooting for 10 out of 10s. Like obviously their like rate of matching is gonna be lower.
Yeah, but if you Nimra made the point that women are okay with uglier men, then why is that a problem?
Yeah.
I think ugly men come
Not
as
all.
a package. I think you're taking that like too.
So you're saying as if his income is this much and he's this ugly, then it's okay.
Then-
Kind of balances
Kind
out.
of balances, right?
I'm
Yeah,
joking.
for
Yeah,
example,
yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
though. Sometimes you gotta just say
Men
it.
might go for like a 7,
Yeah, but that's one instance. We're talking about guys are swiping way more.
I guess her case is like extreme cases where like super pretty women go for uglier men in those like scenarios, whatever he might have more baggage and other things. I'm saying in general overall. I've personally seen very ugly men go for very pretty women, and when it fails, they're like, "Oh, why?" Well, it's because
Yeah, I don't agree with that because yeah,
Wait,
because
but it-
online, I'm sorry to cut you off. Online, there is a big thing about these guys that are complaining like, oh, these women, they have such high standards and stuff. I don't agree with that because, again, I do agree with the fact that some of these guys that that's why it's very important to know yourself, know where you stand in life. Because a lot of guys, I do agree, they're fives. Let's be honest, you should know your own rating, where you stand. And they're swiping for tens, and then they're complaining when the girl's not matching with them.
And then let me add a comment before Ali says something.
Yeah.
I think there's no correlation between women having too high standards. That's possible. And then men also shooting way too high. Both of those things are completely possible.
Yeah, I agree.
But you don't think both those are different?
They are different.
One is shooting,
Yeah.
but they can still bag it, right?
Yeah.
Wait 1 second. First of all, no matter where you are on the scale, you're not ugly, right? I want to preface that. No,
Yeah.
I do want to preface that because
Yeah,
I feel like
I agree,
guys
yeah.
get a lot of slack with this,
Yeah.
and girls don't get.
Yeah, I think
Girls don't get.
Yeah,
kind
a lot of women think
Because-
like, oh, guys are just looking for the prettiest girls.
I think
no,
the culture
I,
now,
like,
especially on social media, we'll see, the whole range of women saying they're baddies and they're pretty, and them being hyped up and stuff like that by all the girls,
Yeah.
and inflating the way that they look. And I don't think there's something wrong with that.
Yeah.
But I think if you look at a man and then you're judging them without them being inflated, and you're just judging them based on how you think of them, and then being like ugly, then that's
Yeah.
the wrong way to look at it. Because how do you know you're not ugly to somebody else, right?
Yeah.
And I think me shooting for somebody that's maybe way more prettier than me, that shouldn't matter. Because if we're looking just from physical attraction, what if she is physically attracted to me,
Yeah.
but she's not there just for physical attraction? Because that's not what a relationship should just be about.
Yeah.
She could still be physically and sexually attracted to me while also loving who I am.
Yeah.
Right? Which is why the funny guy sometimes gets the hot girls.
And yeah.
Because the funny guy knows how to keep the girl around.
Yeah.
And a lot of women also know that
again,
as well.
looks fade. Eventually down the line, looks fade.
So are we
I think
saying-
personality is what people should really focus on.
So basically, from what I've heard so far,
Uh-huh.
and I know I'm over exaggerating, it's a little bit of over exaggeration, but it seems more that there's a shallowness when it comes to the way that women are viewing men versus men are viewing women.
Yeah,
If we're gonna go based off somebody that's 4
But-
being
but-
ugly,
but I think that does.
I think you're
It-
moving down whatever we're saying to simply just looks though.
but that's all.
But
That's
statistically,
all the
that's what
woman
it is.
points that were made were just looks.
Yeah.
But so have yours been.
No, it hasn't.
No, it hasn't. We're saying that we're not always going for tens. Like like if I'm a 5 and I'm going for like a 6 or 7, I don't think that's out of my range. I don't think I'm shooting for the stars there.
And mind you, every girl's rating is different.
Yeah.
So how am I supposed
Yeah.
to know what
Especially
somebody's
now,
rating is gonna
yeah.
be?
Especially now with online filters, you don't even know
You
what they
don't even
really look
know,
like till you
right?
actually see them in person.
that's like the whole-
everybody's a 10 with a good filter.
Exactly. That's like the whole thing of saying like, oh, we can judge a man for his height, but can't judge a woman for her weight.
Yeah.
And that's a huge debate on social media right now. And it's like, what is fair and what is equal?
Yeah.
Because it seems to be, if we have something one way, why is it not going the other way?
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of men's frustration currently in America and the way the American culture is right now. It is swayed more towards the woman dominant field in terms of the dating market.
Yeah.
Right? Where now when you're looking from a Desi culture, it's completely different.
Yeah.
Right? It's changing now, which is a good thing, to be more equal. Because I think before it was way too male dominated and the women were treated more like a trade-off for a deal.
Yeah,
right?
because
I don't
previously
think it was right.
Yeah, previously in Desi culture, a lot of times, especially if it's arranged marriages with the parents finding them,
Yeah.
they're not looking. They don't really care how the guy really looks
Yeah.
as much as his social standing
Yeah.
and what he brings to the table.
Yeah, and I think women
obviously
had-
we've
women
seen
had
it.
less choice because
we've
the
seen the
parents were making
Pakistani
choice.
guys that are like a 2 or a 3 on
Yeah.
a scale, but they're with 10s.
Yeah.
Because
And sometimes the parents would force.
exactly.
So
yeah.
I think that's kind of moving away. I know back home it's a bit different, a little
Yeah.
bit harder depending on where you're from.
Yeah.
But I think it should be. I think the best medium is people to be nicer, kinder, and to give people a chance. And if you're not attracted to that person, doesn't mean you have to be mean about it. I think more people have to be more gracious about knowing that the other person across from them is a human, no matter how they look. Let's say you're not physically attracted to them. Okay, that doesn't mean you go to your parents and go, "Oh, I don't want that one. That one's butt fugly." You know what I'm saying? We don't need to do that.
Does that?
No,
You
they
don't.
do.
You don't
They do.
think what?
That's the whole.
Wait, you don't think? Wait,
'Cause
you don't
if you
think
look-
people on dating apps
Yeah.
are ugly, ugly.
Because if
not
you
ugly,
look
not
at
ugly,
social,
ha, ha, ha.
As we discussed, that's
But I
an
have a
ugly
que-
word.
I have a question.
Right?
but if you're looking
I'm
at social
basing it off
media,
the way you guys. are
yeah, if
thinking
you're
right
looking
now.
at dating
That's
apps,
not what we were saying. We were saying that like women, like right, like they can go more for personality than like looks as well, depending on like the type of person. As well. Like, I feel
but we're
like-
specifically talking about dating apps right now, and that's not the case because majority of the women are going off of
because there's
either
not
the
much in their bio.
There's not
What
much
do
in
you
their
have to
bio.
judge? You just have the pictures to judge. So yeah.
No, you have the picture, and their social standing. So a lot of people, like let's say if the social standing's not there, and the guy doesn't look
But
as good looking,
everyone is judging,
they're just
though.
declining them right off the bat.
Judging
they're just declining them right off the bat
Yeah.
rather than actually meeting them in person. Maybe the guy's not where he's supposed to be in life
that,
right
that
now.
was the statistics point where
Yeah.
men will swipe more than women because
yeah.
women are filtering and men are more open to choice because they need to cast a wider net
Yeah.
because their likelihood to match is less.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Yeah, and that goes back to the fact, like I said, in America especially, like we have these 21-year-olds that are rather go for a 30, 40-year-old successful and settled guy rather than
or for the top 10%.
Yeah,
of
rather
men
than-
in
yeah.
their age group.
and
right?
that's what the
So
stats said.
That's what stats
Yeah.
said.
About this new thing where it's like men of this generation need to be treated like princesses.
Treat like princesses.
I don't think that's the
I
case
think
at
that's
all.
just like a social media.
Yeah, I think that's a
topic. I don't
social
know if
media
there's any-
topic. Yeah.
I don't think there's anything behind that.
Again, I think maybe from the Daisy point of view, our views are completely different. I don't think, to me, that wouldn't even be an issue, really.
I don't know how. I don't know. I mean, we could talk about it, but I don't know how feasible it is.
American culture-wise, I think a lot of men in relationship nowadays want to be treated as the girl a lot of the times.
As the girl?
Yeah.
As a girl.
Like they want to be.
I don't know. I haven't met no homie like that.
Yeah, I don't have any friends. Yeah.
My homie's not really like that.
Yeah.
Like their relationships, the way that I've seen certain guys act, it's very feminine.
Yeah. Maybe they're on the wrong app. They have
Yeah,
Grinder for
maybe-
that.
Maybe they are just not. I don't know. I don't know about
if,
that.
If the guy wants to print, yeah. Again, I don't have a homie out there just be like, oh yeah,
I don't
I want to
know.
be taken care of and have a princess treatment.
What
at
is
all.
princess
Yeah,
treatment,
what do you define as princess treatment? Like, because a lot of people might say like, oh, you know, if they want to come home and the food is ready.
Effort to be coming from the woman as opposed to them actually doing their part as well.
So you're saying they want to imbalance?
Wait, let me word it better. I think what she's trying to say is like, you know, a lot of times like it's natural for men to take initiative for things. Like, you know, like I'd say like when you're first getting into a relationship, planning out dates, figuring things out, making reservations, you know, showing effort, putting in effort.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times men these days, because of, you know, like equal women, equal men or whatever, they feel as if that woman should also cater to that as much as they do. That in the beginning they're like, oh well, why aren't you also doing this? Or oh, like I don't have to do all that, like why should I?
So I personally,
we got to talk about how we spoke about similar to this in the previous podcast.
Yeah.
Where we spoke about how relationships should be of a 50-50.
yeah, I wouldn't even
This
say
time we went
50-50. I
100.
say 100. Because maybe that's a
people-
American thing or maybe that's a social media thing.
The same thing.
I can talk about from a
I mean, yeah, but that's the,
yeah, but it's like a woman might put 100% in this, but a man should also put 100% in a different aspect.
Yes, different aspect. That's what I'm saying. I think in a relationship, right? Look at it however you want. I think there are just certain things that are expected from a man to do and expected from a woman.
100%, yeah.
Right?
There are gender roles.
And that's I guess what my point is I'm saying is I think a lot of men nowadays, maybe younger, right? Because
Yeah.
you guys are kind of like, how do I say this without offending you? Like
Mature.
older.
Damn, she looked directly at me, said it. She didn't skipped Ali and like that at me.
Maybe men more
Guys, is 30 really that old?
no.
I
Please
think-
tell me.
I just think men in like maybe more in my generation.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times that they don't do certain courtesy things for women
Yeah.
because they're like, well, why should I? You know.
Yeah, 'cause-
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I get it.
No, I see
I
what you mean.
understand. So
Being a gentleman-
courtesy has kind of left the younger generation of men
Yeah.
because they've seen that these girls don't deserve courtesy. Like that's the problem. A lot of these guys are now since they're dating lower quality people, they'll end up applying that to most
I
women.
don't like that though. What do you mean by lower quality people?
I'm
Here's
saying,
here's my
like-
point. If let's say
They're dating lower quality people, so women are of lesser quality today.
no, but
No,
wait,
no.
Let me finish my point.
Yeah,
Let
go
me
ahead.
finish my point. A guy will date a girl, and that girl may become somebody who either breaks his heart or does him wrong, right?
Yeah.
Then what happens is he goes, damn, that girl ended up leaving me, and I did all the right things,
Yeah.
and then ended up sleeping with my homie or some shit like that, right? Maybe extreme example, but let's say they left the guy, right? Then the guy goes, you know what, man? I did all the right shit, and
Yeah.
it didn't work out.
Yeah.
So
Let me
they go-
try something different.
Then they go, hey, maybe let me stop caring.
Yeah, yeah.
And then what happens is
Yeah.
guys tend to find success with lower quality women by not caring because somehow that works. Somehow that
Yeah,
works.
because I'm with Noor on this point. I was like, I
understand the
think
whole thing
I think a
about-
man should be the one dating, planning the dates and stuff, especially in the beginning. Maybe once you're more settled into the relationship, then it's more like, you know, you guys can both decide together. Yeah, if there are guys out there doing this and then they're complaining that they can't find girls,
Yeah.
maybe that's the point that we maybe brought up earlier than Imra said, like, you know, a lot of young girls maybe are going for guys older because the young generation is not doing the common courtesy that they're supposed to.
But then if you're in college, right, and you're in a frat,
Yeah.
you know that girl is going to parties and shit, and she's at frat parties.
Yeah.
Why you need to be courteous to her?
But are you not also at the parties as well? Why is there a different standard?
So you're both hoes.
No, wait, whoa. How did it go with a
So
billion
why
hoes?
should be courteous to
Why
you?
is going to a frat party considered a hoe?
No, my point is if you're going to parties, you're sleeping around, you're doing all these things,
They're
right?
both doing that. So why is courtesy diminished if they're both on equal
Because
levels?
they both know that both their moral compasses are compromised. So why put an effort for somebody that
But that's
more likely is gonna
that's
leave
their
you?
moral compass. Like,
Okay.
we were talking about that last time. People have different moral compasses.
So that's what he.
But then the
But that's what he's saying,
the
that
quality
a
is
girl that's
lower.
doing the same thing, she can't expect princess treatment if she's not putting in the same amount
Especially
of
if the
effort.
guy's doing the same thing. Why would that low quality man,
Yeah.
right, do things for that low quality
Because
person?
they're at the same level.
Exactly. So why would they be courteous?
Yeah, but if she's not,
Because why not?
but
why
from
would
a,
you be
you gotta look at it
courteous?
from a guy's point of view, right? If yeah,
Because
I'm
he's
sorry.
not
Go
gonna be
ahead.
courteous in one aspect, and she's not gonna be
She's not
courteous
gonna
in
be
one
courteous,
aspect.
yeah.
So it becomes equal.
Yeah, they becomes equal. It cancels each
Because
other out.
if she expects everything to be paid for, she still
Yeah.
wants to go partying and stuff like that. So you already know this person may not be that loyal to me.
Yeah.
So instead of me trying to treat her like a princess,
Yeah.
I'm gonna treat her for what it
Like
is.
put yourself in my shoes, right? If I'm with a girl, I'm doing all gentlemen's things, but she's still doing whatever she wants to do. Is that really fair?
But that's a different case. That's where the woman is wrong.
But that's what I'm saying. You're talking about if they're
Yes.
both low quality people in that situation, which
Exactly.
they are. That's why you see a lot of guys frustrated. Why would they put in the effort if they're not getting anything in return for
Yeah.
that?
But they're already low quality, and they're going for low quality. That's on them.
But that's again,
So-
that's
but
what
then-
I'm saying.
but-
Then why do you?
But then why would you want a low quality person date a good person and ruin them?
Why would a
same pool.
low quality girl who doesn't have the same moral compass expect a princess treatment out of a guy that's
Who has
also
a
low
great
quality?
And why would she expect it from a guy from a great moral
That's not
compass?
low quality. I'm saying all women in general, right?
Yeah.
I think you have to look like in general. I think all men are not in my thing are not as courteous as they should be towards women, whether they're high or low. I'm not saying low to low, high to high, or whatever. I'm saying in general, I think there's certain gentleman acts, high and low, that they don't do anymore.
Yeah. So if that's the case, I definitely disagree. You should not be doing that. That might be the reason you guys are alone. It's like you should be a gentleman. Everything that you said, I think that's just common things a guy should do.
No, I think be a gentleman, but be smart.
Yeah, of course. You got to be cautious
No,
regardless.
here's my point. Nowadays it's really hard to give the whole princess treatment and then knowing that nothing may come from it, right? So I think what I mentioned before is, let's say you meet a girl and you think the girl is good, right? Off the bat, you think things are nice. Don't go all out. Like we mentioned, go for the coffee date, go for the phone calls,
Yeah.
get to know the person first. I think a lot of these conversation debates get really like technical, and the wording you use matters a lot, and then it becomes extreme situations.
Yeah.
Let's kind of, you got to bring the heat down and go, okay, next time I talk to a person, what should I do?
Yeah.
First, let's have a phone call. Let's go have a date and let's go talk. Let's see how we're compatible, right? Then you say, okay, what kind of date should I do for the first date? Let's do something light. Let's do an activity, right?
Yeah.
If you go all out and it doesn't work, then it hurts.
Yeah.
So instead of you lowering your expectation of the person, rather change the way you're viewing the way you should treat the dating process.
Yeah.
Right? Have the vetting take longer.
Yeah.
If you feel like you're gonna get hurt or you're coming off a bad relationship and you wanna subsidize that hit on your emotions and heart, then I'd say the best thing to do is be courteous, be a gentleman, but in a different way.
Yeah.
Right? If she shows her true colors, then she'll show her true colors. And if you're a woman, just because a dude takes you on a date, just because a dude gets you flowers, just open the door for you, doesn't mean he's a good fucking man, right?
Yeah.
Because they could do all the courteous shit.
Especially in the beginning.
Yeah, they can
Especially
do all
in
the
the beginning,
courteous shit,
yeah.
they'll still cheat on you, still beat you, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't know. That happens in a lot of relationships. You don't know what may happen down the line. You don't know what may happen the next day or the next date, right? So for the guys, be more cautious, vet the process better.
Yeah.
Don't splurge if you don't want to, right?
That's
Keep
a
it
good point you
simple.
brought up. I was going to hit upon that. Like, especially guys, right? A lot of times you see this debate online. They're like, oh, I took her to this nice ass dinner. I spent like $150, but then she just blocked me and stuff like that. If that $150 is really affecting you that much that you'd rather like be like, oh, I'm not going to put in the effort, then you're doing things that are not in your range. Why are you going all out if you can't afford to go all out? You know what I mean? So you got to stay, like I think we touched that in the last time. Stay within your tax bracket. In the beginning, that's why I really think first date ideas, the best thing to do is go get a coffee, get to know the person, because then you kind of know if you want to invest more into them.
And if you bring up that idea, like, yo, let's do FaceTime, let's call, let's do something light, and they're not with it, because I do know this does happen, because I've witnessed this, right? They want to be taken out to dinner, they want to do the whole shebang, right? No, don't do that. If they're not compatible from the jump and they're not even seeing eye to eye on just being compatible, then that's not the person you should be talking to.
Yeah.
And I know it's harder. I brought up the statistic that you're more likely gonna have less matches, especially if you're not top 10% of men.
Yeah.
So I know
So that's why they make a higher effort when they do get a
Exactly.
match. They want to. So that's the thing. I've seen it with my friends and stuff like that. Some of them would go on first dates, go all out,
And go all
then a
out.
few years into a few months into the relationship,
Yeah.
all that drops. And obviously, I get where the girl's
Exactly.
coming
Or
from.
even after a couple days.
Yeah, because you made the girl get used to one thing
Yeah.
just because you wanted to kind of show off and get her interested in you, and then bam, you just fall off.
Yeah.
That's something I think I disagree with. You should, as a guy, you should not be doing that at all. And that's to Ali's point. Do a better job vetting that person before you physically and financially invest more into them.
Yeah, and I will say, as a guy, the dating pool is harder for us because we have less options. And just because you have less options doesn't mean you should marry the first option you have.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that'll be the best way to kind of vet the process. As I said, if you have one option, fuck it. See what the one option's about.
Yeah.
Treat her nice. You know, do the right things. Don't splurge. Don't go all out. Right. Just do things that are gonna be personality based. Right. See what happens.
Go into
check
it-
the vibe.
Yeah.
And then let's say you have 2 or 3 options. Do the same thing for all 3 and see which one you think would match the best. See what the people in your life that you trust, what they may think based on your interactions with that person, right? Same thing with women, right? I think you guys should do the same thing, right?
I think everybody should go into like a new relationship or dating with the open mind, but don't have your expectations so high. Don't come at it through a desperate point of view. I think a lot of times
For the guys.
yeah,
For the
especially with the guys, right?
yeah.
Like you said, they are getting a lot less matches. So sometimes when they do get a match, they're like, oh, I really gotta go all in to really show that, oh, I'm a good man that could be compatible. Because then you're doing yourself a disservice, especially if you're taking out to expensive dates and stuff. I don't blame the girl when you're dropping the expectation. That's on you. As a guy, that's on you.
And I think
You gave her the world and took it away. Be like, oh no.
I think with some cases there tends to be like the guys doing all the gentlemanly things.
Yeah.
And I know some guys may think that they're not getting everything back from them.
Yeah.
But I think it's more as make sure, I'm saying it's just for the guys, right? I don't want any debate from this, but make sure you understand that you have a value too, right? It's not just, it shouldn't just be, oh, I'm just gonna do everything for the girl and I'm just gonna keep trying to impress her. And you keep trying to impress her and there's nothing ever comes back from it.
And also
So
a lot
I
of
think
times,
that's what's important. I don't want you to get lost in the idea of just trying to impress somebody and never having that person try to impress you, because you also deserve that back.
yeah,
Right?
And that goes to my point. People put so much pressure and expectations on the first few dates that if it doesn't go well, it's easier to just write it off. Or like guys, they'll rather be like, oh, why am I putting all this time and effort into it if it's not working out?
Yeah.
It takes time to build a relationship with a person, right? Take that time. And that comes to the point like we were talking about. Before you go into a relationship and stuff, first get to know yourself first. Invest time in yourself, know what your standards are, and then go into a relationship.
And
I
also-
think that's why a lot of relationships are failing nowadays, because people are so desperate and lonely because Instagram has, like social media has made it that way that you don't have that personal connection. So the first time you get that, you
latch onto
you
it.
latch onto it.
And that's not,
And that's doing both sides, men and women. You're doing the relationship a disservice by going into
by
that like that.
clinging.
Yeah.
I think clinging is something you shouldn't do quick.
Yeah. So I think we've got both guys and girls' perspectives. Anything else you girls want to add to that? No?
You're on a, like, this is nothing to do ever. Like, you're on a really bad date
Yeah.
and you know it's not going anywhere and the
Yeah.
bill is maybe 150. Are you going like 50-50 on that bill?
Nah, if it's first date,
If
you
it's
eat
first
it.
date, the guy should pay.
I mean, I think in general,
Even if you know this is going
That's fine.
you,
Yeah.
you eat the bill. Like,
Yeah, because as a guy, especially for the first date, they should take it. That's why me and Ali kind of talked about it last time. The best first date ideas to me is go on a coffee date. First, it's not a longer commitment like a long dinner is. If you go on a coffee date, grab a quick coffee, you could sit in a cafe for a little bit, then maybe go around for a walk.
And then
You know what I mean?
depending on how that goes, it can keep extending.
Yeah, first it will make the girl feel comfortable because girls don't want to be, because it takes a lot longer for a girl to be comfortable with a guy, vice versa, right? Because safety is a big portion of it. Unfortunately, the society that we live in, girls do have to be a little bit
For
more
all
cautious.
human time, I think that's been like,
Yeah, that's always been the
standard,
case.
right? So-
Yeah, so that's why I think a lot of people that going for dinner is such an easy first date, because that's just the standard. But I think we
I think
should
it's
really
also
change
the
that.
worst idea. And I
Yeah.
think even before the coffee date, like I mentioned last time, is phone
FaceTime, yeah.
calls, FaceTimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun
hiking.
activity.
I think hiking and stuff is a great one because you really get to see the person, how they're reacting to
and-
situations, and it gives a girl an easy out, right? If it's like coffee dates, like usually 20 to 40 minutes. If you don't like it, it's a couple dollars that
Yeah.
you invested, and you can both go your own ways.
Yeah.
Rather than be like, oh yeah, sit down dinner for $150, and like you're both like, oh, this is not going
Plus,
anywhere.
at dinner, you can't really talk that well in a restaurant. Like,
exactly,
You get a cheesecake and it's fucking loud as hell.
Yeah, I don't like dinner dates as a
And if
first
you are
date
on a
at all.
shitty date and the person actually just a shitty, like actually shitty human.
Yeah.
Remember in Munna by 2 where he's on the radio and he's helping give advice and that
Oh,
one
yeah,
girl's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
he's going to the waiter and being respectful and she walked out.
Yeah.
Bro, walk out.
Walk
on 'em.
out, yeah.
Okay, give him a bill.
Yeah,
Fuck
yeah.
'em. If they're a shitty person.
Yeah.
And they're
Like,
disrespecting people.
I would
just
give the
walk
same
out.
advice to my sisters that I would give to our
Or
female viewers out
my
there.
female viewers and my brothers.
Yeah, and the brothers.
Fuck
Yeah.
it, leave the bill on the girl, bro.
No, don't do that.
Yeah. If she's disrespectful to
Oh,
wait staff and
Oh.
people, and maybe she's disrespecting you in front, be like, oh, okay, play the game,
Yeah.
you know, and then walk out.
Pretend to go to the bathroom, jump out the window, and we're out.
That ass.
Yeah. I think we discussed a lot of good topics. It was good to have a live audience because we
Really?
got to see a different point of view. All right, guys. First of all, I want to say thank you to our live audience. We really loved your perspective.
One of our live audience members fell asleep.
Yeah, one of them didn't make it, but it's okay.
And let me take a picture.
Yeah, we're gonna add that in the B-roll clip. Yeah. Again, I know the topics that we discussed, we all had different point of views. So I really want to hear back from you guys. Put it down in the comments what you thought about the topics that we discussed. And then, in the future, we want to make it a habit of recapping a lot of the episodes.
Also, everything is open discussion, right? I don't know.
And there's no right or wrong answer.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong answer.
Some things are based in facts,
Yeah.
but you got to bring the facts to be able to prove it.
Yeah. And every
And-
situation is different.
And a lot of things, we just gotta be nicer to each other, bro.
Yeah.
Like, fuck it. Someone may have a different opinion. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that deep.
Just
You know
be
what
a
I'm saying?
nice, genuine human being, and you'll find way better relationships and friendships.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't put too much. Don't think
Think too much about shit like
Yeah,
this.
just do.
Because
Just do, yeah.
because then you cloud yourself with so many things
Yeah.
that
You're going into
your
relationship
quality
with-
of
yeah.
relationships actually ends up worse because you're
Yeah.
trying to interview and vet all these things.
Yeah.
Just vibe. Just know you,
Yeah.
know who you are, and just vibe.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's okay to, if it doesn't work out, walk away. It's completely okay.
Yeah. Don't give any physical commitment.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Allow yourself.
Yeah, never drop down your standards for anybody.
Yeah, and I don't put out and allow yourself to have your good standing. And I should not cut that shit out.
Yeah, that's fine.
That shit
Yeah.
okay.
Thank you again for tuning in.
It's a 7-3 podcast,
We'll see you guys again next week. Love y'all.
episode 7.